Hey, what's up everyone? Just shooting a video here today, thinking about leverage, stuff I've been thinking about for the past week. I haven't posted anything because I haven't been in such a high vibration state. I'm just going through this process. It's just unfolding in real time. I'm just sharing my pitfalls, my challenges, my life with you guys. Everyone has their own journey, their own experiences, their own levels. So each person is going to resonate with another person according to what are they going through, how can they relate to what the other person is going through. So some of you are in some areas are way beyond me. Some people are experiencing a lot of the same things that I'm experiencing, and some people are experiencing other things that they can't relate to. So this is a universal thing that a lot of people will be able to understand for sure though, and it's just been on my mind lately, thinking about all the people in the world and what they have done, what they have accomplished. You know, some people have been extremely successful, whether it's in athletics, you know, someone, a professional athlete, or someone that's reached a gold medal. What did it take for them to get there? Some people have achieved some incredible financial success. They've built business after business after business. They're extremely good at building businesses, at managing people, at scaling businesses. Other people have focused a lot on spiritual life and attained high levels of enlightenment. So there's so many different areas where you can level up and you can just improve yourself. You can master these specific things. But we only have so much time in this lifetime. And for us to just, you know, utilize this world as kind of like a blank slate to play on, to figure out what's what. It takes a lot of time to get the feedback you need to really master these things. But what you can do is you can use leverage. If you know physics, then leverage is a huge tool to be able to move things easier, faster, move heavier things that you wouldn't be able to move before. So we can use the same principle in our self-mastery, our self-development, our road to a better life for sure. So what is that leverage? It's piggybacking, standing on the shoulders of giants, piggybacking on people's insights, on their revelations, on their realizations, on their newfound attitude, their newfound ways of doing things. People have been working on this for thousands of years. You can utilize books, you can utilize videos, you can have in-person meetings with people, mastermind groups, just brainstorming with people, having a mentor. I encourage everyone to utilize this tool. I've been utilizing it a lot lately and didn't realize exactly why I wasn't really making the progress as quickly as I thought, because I was trying to do it all on my own. So now I'm just using these tools of people that have spent so much time. I was listening to this one video where it took him 15 years to figure out these things on his own. Not completely on his own, but a lot of it was on his own. Just trial and error, day after day, moment after moment through the day, every single day. Just figuring out what works. Just throwing out ideas, throwing out actions into the universe and getting the feedback. And saying, okay, this doesn't work quite as well as I thought. What if I change it a little bit like this? Tweak it just a bit, change the trajectory just a little bit, or a lot, depending, and then see what happens. Just like that same quote that I mentioned before in another video with Edison, Thomas Edison. He was just continuing to try to get that light bulb. You know, he was an inventor, he was experimenting, he was in the, in the lab, just trying new things. He's like, oh, that doesn't work, so I'll throw out that idea. Let's try another one. So this guy was doing that for years and years, just self-development. And now he just shares it with the public. So you take that blueprint, you take that game plan with all of his wisdom from his real life experience over 15 years, and you implement that with extreme determination and focus, and people within a matter of only 2 or 3 years have been able to achieve something similar to him where it took him 15 years. So this is the principle of the leverage. So I'm looking into nutrition. There's a lot of people out there, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people for years and years. I remember back in the old days, this is back in early 90s, getting educated by the books of Paul Bragg, the fasting techniques, the weightlifting, the sunshine, the fresh water, the saunas, the cold therapy, the exercise, so many different things. And I was learning and learning. And he had done a lot of work on himself, and he had studied with mentors as well. Then I started studying Arnold Ehret, just a master faster. He would just fast on water and small amounts of juice and hike through the mountains of Europe, and just had amazing experiences on energy and health and what that austerity, what that sacrifice did for his mind and for his body. So I took some of those jewels and tried to apply those. And like I'd mentioned before, what was the main reason why the results were not that good? Because they continued to be inconsistent. If I would have just continued with these principles day in and day out, since I first discovered those over 30 years ago, then I'd be in a significantly better place. So these are just more lessons you have to learn. Like I thought that I would be able to attain amazing results without being consistent, or I was just lying to myself as in some kind of an illusion about how everything works. So I have my own reflections. I have my own timeline of how things are being presented to me. But now, getting older in life and realizing there's not a huge amount of time to be able to accomplish the amazing things that I want to accomplish, now I'm in more of a sprint, more serious, more focused. Why waste time? Think about your life. When you think about sense pleasures, when you think about immediate gratification, how has that really served you? What are you really looking for, though? You're looking for that feeling within of peace and satisfaction, of joy, happiness, contentment, bliss. These are amazing neurochemical cocktails that are available to you, and you're thinking you're going to be able to get those from these temporary pleasures, from the food, from some experience. I just went snowboarding. So it's amazing. It's a beautiful scene, but it's short-lived. Before you know it, it becomes just the same as everything else again, for the most part. These quick kind of pleasures versus building your character. I see it as like two streams of energy. There's one of them, which is like a spike of pleasure, and then it's gone. And then you're looking for the next thing. That's why they have, the things like the Instagram and the TikTok and the YouTube and all the things on the phone and the computers and, the fast food and all this stuff. It's like you can string together these quick fixes, just one after another. And it's just spike and then you're down. And then it's a spike and then you're down. It's like that. You can live like that. You can surely live like that. But if you wake up a little bit and you realize that that's still shallow and fleeting, and you're always chasing the next thing. If you take it to the next level and you realize there's another stream of energy that lies beneath this. This is how I imagine in my mind. It lies beneath this. This is where you're building your character. This is where you're sacrificing, where you're actually going into uncomfortable zones. When you grow, when you do something new, you just start the piano for the first time, or the guitar, or you start jujitsu, or you go back to the gym, or you start something new, you get into a new relationship, there's an uncomfortable feeling there. It's the way it works. It's natural. It's new for you. And then you start to master it. It becomes more and more comfortable. So this is the way that it works. So you start to master these things, and then you have this steady stream of energy that you just feel content. You feel good in your own skin because you know that you've been putting in the work. You've been putting in that hard work that you didn't want to do, but you're doing it for your future self. You know your future self will be benefited. And you know people around you, your loved ones, will be benefited. You know the world and the environment will all be benefited by these things that are they're superior choices. Like, who's benefited when you go to McDonald's? Is your body benefited? Is your mind benefited? Are you being a good example for others? Is that company helping out the environment? Are they promoting a healthy lifestyle? So the energy surrounding around that action is not good. You go to the gym, you go for a nice walk, you do some meditation, you get together with some friends and do some healthy activity, you eat some healthy food, you make good choices that are good for you, and they're good for others, and they're good for the environment, they're good for the world. Now you're bathing in this healthy energy. You're gonna get paid dividends for that. You're gonna be rewarded long term for that. You're gonna have this sense that I did the right thing, and this stays with you. This doesn't have that spike effect like I was mentioning with the temporary things. Not that you won't have temporary pleasures, you will. It's inevitable. I'm walking right now and I'm seeing, beautiful trees, and it's cold out, so I'm getting some benefits from cold therapy, and there's different things that are going on. You can't avoid that. But you're going to be making choices throughout the day as well. So I'm going to be hitting the gym here soon. That's a conscious choice to get my consciousness in a high vibration state, to treat my body with respect, to make my body better, to develop my mind. I know David Goggins says, callous the mind. I really like that, because I get calluses on my hands from the weights, so they can become stronger to be able to lift the bigger weights, the heavier weights, so that they don't get cut up. It's the same thing with the mind. You push the mind. You push the mind harder in your exercise. You get uncomfortable with uncomfortable uncomfortable conversations and relationships. That's how you grow. That's how you callous the mind. And then when a big challenge comes, the mind is tough. It's ready. There's so many ways we talked about how to do that. Waking up early, being slightly hungry, fasting, engaging in activities that are challenging for you, new activities. There's so many different ways that you can callous the mind. One of the big ones I really like is just pushing yourself in exercise. It's an amazing one. You can see your body changing relatively quickly, especially if you push it hard and you're strict with your food choices. That takes a lot of effort, because throughout the whole day, your mind is continually giving you options. Like, your mind is giving you options of ways out of what to eat. You drive by the pizza place, you drive by the donuts, you drive by the sweet shops, you drive by the fast food. They're available to you. See, if these things weren't available to you, then it wouldn't be difficult, because they're not available. So they're available all over. You got your phone that's available. You can get on there and just do all kinds of nonsense. You got the TV. In this modern society, 2023, there's so many temporary sense pleasures that you can just get a super quick fix on that are available. So the people that decide not to do that and do something that's actually good for themselves in the long term, and I mean the long term, like, where are you going to be out in 10 years? Not where are you going to be out in 10 days or 10 weeks or even 10 months. Where are you going to be in 10 years? Do a 10-year timeline. You do a 10-year timeline on someone. Some people could get a medical doctor degree. They could be a PhD. They could master a martial art. They could master an instrument. They could put 10 or 20,000 hours into something within 10 years. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. And after you get there, after you put 10 or 20,000 hours into something and truly mastered it, and when it became one of the best, in that field, that's going to be like a badge. It's going to be like a badge of honor that you get to carry with you throughout your days, all day, every day. That's going to make you feel a certain way. So this is what we're talking about. I'm looking around the world all the time. I'm just getting feedback from people. I can feel the energy. I'm more sensitive to the energy. I'm seeing the way that the people are walking. I can see the suffering on their face. I can feel it. Their financial struggles, their struggles with their body, their struggles with their mind, their struggles with their relationships, marriage problems, problems with their kids, problems with their parents, problems with their coworkers. There's millions and millions and millions of people with some serious problems, and they want to solve those. So do that same thing that I've been saying. It's not my thing. None of these are my ideas. Don't get me wrong on this. I'm understanding the truth. The truth is there, and it can be realized. It can be unveiled. It's like gold that's sitting in the ground somewhere, waiting to be found, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be discovered. This is the way it is. So I hear the truth from people. I listen from within, and then I act on it. And I see how it works. If certain things that I say, they don't work for you, you're in a particular position, you've already figured out certain things, just take what you can. Just try these things out and see how this works for you. But I'll tell you, from my understanding, a lot of these things that I'm trying to impart are universal. They're universal across the board. No one likes to be in an unhealthy body. No one wakes up in the morning and says, I'd like to be 20 pounds fatter. I'd like to have half the amount of money in my bank account. And I'd like to have a worse marriage. Like, that's just not how it works. So there's going to be some universal things that just work. Live in a healthy body that has energy to be able to do what you need to do. If you have a tool, if you're a carpenter and you've got a saw, you want that thing to be sharp. The sharper, the better. You don't want some old, dull, rusty saw when you're out there working. It takes a lot more effort to use it, and the potential for an accident is higher. We've been gifted this amazing body. I mean, at birth, the body is functioning at a very high level for the most part. Most people, when they're born, the body is fresh, it's new. Some people, obviously, there's some complications in different situations genetically. But a lot of people, just think about this for a second. The body is functioning well. The nervous system, cardiovascular system, all these things, they're not all clogged up with just a bunch of garbage. And as we navigate through this world, as we grow older and older, we're getting input from all these different sources. Okay, the amount of information we've got now from all of the ancient wisdom, as well as modern science, is pointing in the direction of so many things that you can do to keep yourself in a good state. And this also translates over to the mind. Continually work out your mind as well. You're exercising on a regular basis. I like to exercise a couple times a day, sometimes 3 times a day, whether one of them's just a walk, just moving the body, getting the energy going. If you leave a car just sitting there for too long, it dies. It won't start. That's how the body is. Don't leave it sitting around. Move around. Before you eat, take a little walk. Your body will be primed to process the food properly, especially if it's not that healthy of food, whatever the occasion is. You'll be able to deal with that food better because you already got that motor started. That's how it works. And then you can take a walk after a meal. Take a nice walk with your family or friends after a meal, even 5-10 minutes. It'll help process everything. This is how you create a system of health. It's the same thing with the mind. Work out the mind. When you play a musical instrument, that works out the mind. When you do different types of sports like tennis and ping pong, I heard specifically, are extremely good for the mind. Martial arts, trying to figure out these different moves. Learning new things. Study things. Read things. Listen to information about new things. And then you'll also have a bunch of information just readily available to be able to share with people. You'll be able to have good, healthy conversations. Why waste your time? Like if you're gonna get together with family and friends, why not have it be productive for everyone? This is just a new trajectory in my life. It's like I'm just not interested in wasting time on stuff that's irrelevant. And it's not that I'm just like a hard ass, always serious. It's not like that. There's plenty of times where, it's fun, it's joyful, there's laughter, there's jokes and stuff like that. But there's a lot of really good, productive exchange of information, but in a fun, light, high energy manner. So this is what's possible. I'm seeing that there's just so many pockets of time throughout the whole entire day that you can really utilize to make your life better and make other people's life better. I have better interactions with strangers. I just have more interest. It's a more interesting life. It's just a better life. So that's why I'm trying to reach out. If you find a better life, then just share it with others. If you found a way to have a better life, share it. It'll help them. They'll be appreciative. You'll feel good about helping someone else. It's an amazing process. You keep doing that over and over and over. You'll be very surprised at where you're at. So we'll talk soon.